We're Mason & Mason, a real estate law firm in Garden City, New York. For over 20 years, we have concentrated our practice entirely on real estate law, representing individuals, businesses, developers, title companies, and mortgage lenders as it relates to commercial and residential real estate transactions. Today, we're going to explore the Corporate Transparency Act. The Corporate Transparency Act plays a crucial role in safeguarding against illicit activities such as tax fraud, terrorism, and money laundering. In today's video, we will briefly outline the Corporate Transparency Act, including the procedures for compliance, and shed light on the penalties for non-compliance. Number 1. Key provisions of the Corporate Transparency Act. The Corporate Transparency Act, signed into law in 2020, seeks to address the challenges posed by anonymous shell companies and illicit financial activities. It mandates certain reporting requirements for entities operating in the United States with the primary goal of identifying the beneficial owners behind corporations and limited liability companies, or LLCs. The key provisions of the Corporate Transparency Act include: Number 1. Beneficial ownership reporting. The Act mandates the reporting of beneficial ownership information to the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, or FINCEN. This information includes the identities of the individuals who directly or indirectly own or control 25% or more of the entity, as well as those responsible for managing the entity's affairs. The Corporate Transparency Act requires existing and new entities that don't fall into one of the numerous exceptions to comply with the beneficial ownership reporting requirements. Starting in January 2024, all non-exempt entities formed must comply with the Act. Entities formed prior to January 1st, 2024 are not exempt but will have until January 1st, 2025 to file before penalties and fines kick in. Number 2. Confidentiality and security measures. The Corporate Transparency Act emphasizes the importance of protecting the privacy and security of reported information. It requires FINCEN to establish protocols to safeguard against unauthorized access, use, or disclosure of the data, striking a balance between transparency and protecting sensitive information. 2. Procedures for compliance. To comply with the Corporate Transparency Act, entities must follow the prescribed procedures. Number 1. Identifying and reporting beneficial owners. Entities must identify and collect accurate information regarding the beneficial owners, including name, address, date of birth, and unique identification numbers, such as social security numbers or passport details. This information must be reported to the FINCEN through a secure electronic system. Number 2. Maintaining accurate and updated records. Entities must maintain accurate records of their beneficial ownership information and ensure they are promptly updated in case of any changes or new developments. This includes monitoring any alterations in ownership, control, or management that may impact the reported information. Number 3. Cooperation with law enforcement. The Corporate Transparency Act emphasizes the collaboration between entities and law enforcement agencies. If requested, entities must promptly provide additional information related to their beneficial owners to aid in investigations, ensuring transparency and supporting efforts to combat financial crimes. 3. Penalties for non-compliance. To ensure the effectiveness of the Corporate Transparency Act, penalties for non-compliance are in place. The Act authorizes civil and criminal penalties for individuals or entities failing to comply with its reporting requirements. Potential penalties may include: 1. Civil penalties. Entities failing to report accurate and complete beneficial ownership information may be subject to civil penalties, including fines ranging from $500 to $10,000, depending on the severity of the violation. Number 2. Criminal penalties. Willful violations of the Corporate Transparency Act, such as knowingly providing false or misleading information, may result in criminal penalties, including fines up to $1 million and imprisonment for up to 2 years. The Corporate Transparency Act represents a significant step forward in promoting corporate accountability and reducing the misuse of anonymous entities for illicit purposes. By requiring the reporting of beneficial ownership information and imposing penalties for non-compliance, the Corporate Transparency Act enhances transparency, fosters trust, and strengthens the integrity of the corporate sector. If you're considering the purchase of real estate in the New York area, reach out to us so we can help you. Our contact information is down below.